there's the national determination element. So nations being able to decide for themselves and choose their own course of history and develop under their own conditions and without any interference from a power of any description. There's also the sort of, more day-to-day kind of stuff too, that, this revolution was also the sort of peak of a trend which had started with Marx and Engels and other socialists and all sorts of descriptions of trade unionists and worker movements. But things like the 8-hour workday, a weekend, International Women's Day, abortion rights, all sorts, healthcare, education, all sorts of things, housing, free housing, these things that we talk about now, we still talk about them. Some of them are not quite there yet, but some of them have been established for so long that we have forgotten that they were struggles. So actually quite interesting. I see a lot of people complaining about the 8-hour workday, and I understand why. Obviously it's still, it's still work. But
yeah,
there's this,
it's 8 hours more than I'd like.
Yes,
better than 12.
Right. But you have to remember that 8-hour workday being one of the slogans of the May Day rallies from the 19th century, from the First International. Those guys won that. Those movements won that. It took them struggles and protests and fights and death, in many cases, to win that concession. And back then, it's hilarious that if you read some of the arguments by the bosses, they were like, it's not possible. It's not possible that our businesses will collapse if they work for less than 10 hours. So yeah, all rubbish. I mean, it's the same stuff we hear today. It's like, oh no, 4-hour work day can't happen. It's just not possible. It's not possible. The economy will collapse.
The condition for women in general, like the fact that from day one in the new socialist Russia, women had universal suffrage, something that women in the Western world were still fighting for. Women in Britain were throwing themselves in front of trains to try and get notice. And when they did get it, it was still only for landowning women.